Hey everybody, Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Got an update here from Carnival. Carnival has announced that they're going to use up to 18 of their branded ships to take crew home from their cruise line. At the beginning of the breakout of this virus, when they had to suspend operations, they had 29,000 crew members on board all of their vessels, and 10,000 so far have been repatriated or are on the way home now. There's another 10,000 now being gathered up, and there's a major operation happening here in the Bahamas. A total of about 18 ships will gather. You can see some of them here already. There are about 12 in this particular illustration, where ships will tender crew members from various vessels to various vessels, so that a ship that's going to South America will have all of their South American crew members. Ship going to Europe will have members there, and so on. They're going to repatriate 10,000 crew members back to Asia, India, Europe, Africa, South America, and throughout Latin America. Now, when Carnival is done, when they're finished, they will have repatriated 26,000 of their 29,000 crewmates. So only 3,000 will remain on board their ships, which in effect is enough to run the ship on a day-to-day basis and keep it laid up until they're ready to sail again. Now, if by some miracle the virus went away tomorrow, or a cure was found, it would take quite some time, obviously, for Carnival then to turn it around. But I can tell you, folks, that cruising will return, but it'll return only in a piecemeal type basis. The cruise line might announce that in 30 days' time, they're going to have a quarter of their ships back up and running, and then another 30 days, they'll be up to half, and so on. And so to repatriate crew and bring crew back to these ships, by the time sailing is allowed to happen again, they'll be allowed to fly their crews back. They won't have to send ships to go get them again. So it's a ship ride home for now for this batch of crew, but they'll be flown back to wherever they have to be flown to meet up with their ships to resume their contract work going forward. So I can imagine that Carnival could have their entire fleet of ships back up and running probably in about 3 to 4 months, once they decide, okay, we're going to announce sailing dates. But as I say, they will do it in a staged basis. They need time to notify all of their passengers. They need time to get their entertainers back, and all their suppliers for food and alcohol and all the other supplies they need. That all has to be arranged, and they will set this all up in a piecemeal fashion, and away we go. But for now, you can just see how many ships are out there waiting to gather. Over the next few days, they'll complete the transfer of all these crew members, and of the 18 ships, 9 will depart this region with crew and take them home. That's almost 1,000 passengers or 1,000 crew members per ship, to give you an idea how big an operation this is. And it's cost effective, and in logistical terms, it's probably the only logistical way that Carnival can repatriate a vast majority of these crew members, because there are just no flights available any longer on commercial aircraft because of all the bans that have been instituted either in and out of the United States or in and out of other countries where these crew members actually come from. So way to go, Carnival, getting their people home. I estimate that with 26,000 crew members being taken home by ship, by the time they get this all done, Carnival's daily burn rate just to have 26,000 crew members on board those ships would have been at least $3 million a day. And I'm using an average of about $100 to $110 a day per crew member. And that's salary, food, and other expenses. I'm probably being on the low side here. But just to give you an idea, $3 million a day, $90 million a month, $1 billion a year is the burn rate just to have crew on board. And if there are no passengers paying for the crew, it is money straight out of the bank account of Carnival. So they are doing what they have to do. It is no longer a 30-day shutdown or a 40-day shutdown. It is a long-term shutdown. We won't see Carnival ships back in the water until July, and even then we won't see them everywhere. We'll only see them in certain regions, and I'm guessing that it'll take until the end of the year until really all of the Carnival ships are back in full flight. But that assumes that every port in the world and all airlines and hotels and all countries are allowing tourists to travel back and forth from their home countries to these ships and back. And I'm not sure if by the end of the year all countries in the world will have agreed to that, at least all the countries that Carnival visits. Oh, we'll stay on top of it, folks. We'll keep an eye on it. Thanks for joining me today. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.